welcome back to the channel. I have a lot of explaining and a lot of updating to do, and that is what this video is going to be about today. There are some questions I've been asked that I have not answered and I've kind of been avoiding, but I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, and I will get to that shortly. The first thing I want to update you on is the animals, so that's where we're going to start today. So for anyone who's been on the channel before, you know that I have 4 goats. I've got 3 females back there and I've got a male. I recently just parted with the male, so I sold him, I think probably like 4 weeks ago or so, to another farm that is somewhat relatively close to here. And the reason I did that is because I need to kind of start downsizing a little bit. There's a lot of things going on here and I have a lot of things on my plate right now. So I'm trying to kind of navigate that and just remove some of the things that are not necessary. And that includes getting rid of Vinny. So another reason why I got rid of Vinny is because he's breeding my female goats, which is the intent, which is why I got him in the first place. The thing is sometimes it takes a little bit longer to sell the goats, and I don't really need more goats. The plan was to be using the milk to make goat milk soap, which I was doing, but it's just becoming too many things for me to manage on my own. So I've kept the 3 females, and the option to add back another buck is always there. But it was time to part with him, and he's gone to another farm to breed some other goats. So he's probably enjoying himself and has totally forgotten about this place anyway. So for now, I've just got Carmen, Penny, and Lily. I think Lily is already bred, so I mean, I'll probably have 1 more goat coming soon in the next 2 months. But that's gonna be it for now. I'm just gonna have them, they're basically just gonna be decorations at this point, and that's okay with me for now. I'm happy with just having the 3 of them, possibly the 4 of them. So this is my chicken area. As you all know, this coop came with me from the old house, and I brought all my chickens with me. I also have added a few more chickens, and I've hatched probably around 60 already this year. So I've got tons of chickens, and I've got some ducks. I've got about, I think, 5 ducks left, I think. I had 11. The coyote situation here has gotten just completely out of control, and I have lost an abundance of my birds, which is kind of sad. You can see in the background of some of these shots, there's feathers all over the yard. The coyotes are coming into the yard quite regularly and picking off the chickens, and I've lost some ducks now. Stella actually got attacked by coyotes, I think 2 nights ago. She's okay now. She had several puncture wounds on her back right leg. She was limping, she wasn't able to sit down, but she's doing much better now. The coyotes here are just, I've never experienced the coyotes to this degree ever. They are coming into the yard in the middle of the day and just walking right into the yard and picking off my chickens. So it is becoming a bit of a problem. My plan is to kind of just hang on to the chickens and keep a few ducks. I have enough ducks that I can hatch some more in the springtime. I believe I have 1 drake. Yes, I've got 1 drake and I've got 4 hens. So I'll still be able to get some fertile eggs and hatch some more out in the spring to bring my flock back up if I choose to. Things are changing around here, so I'm not really sure what next year is going to look like. So I'm not too concerned that I only have 5 ducks left. Obviously, I'm concerned that the coyotes came and picked them off, but I'm not too concerned in the fact that I only have 5 left. The chickens, I will continue to hatch because I love chickens. I love pulling into the driveway and seeing them scattered all over the yard. I just feel like it looks wholesome and nice. I don't really know another way to describe it, but eggs are something I still sell at the driveway, so I definitely want to have enough chickens to keep up with that. I don't have enough chickens to keep up with that right now. So I mean, the 50 to 60 chickens I have right now are not enough to keep up with the eggs at the driveway, so I will continue to hatch chickens. Outside of the chickens and the ducks, missing a few from the coyotes, not too much has changed in this area. So we'll head on over to the pigs and I'll give you an update on them. If you've followed along from the beginning or even before this video, you'll know that I've got 2 mini pigs here. I've got Emma and I've got Wally back there. Emma's had multiple litters of babies, and I typically will sell the babies. The thing is mini pigs are not for meat. They are more for decoration and just to have as a pet. So I'm kind of trying to eliminate things that aren't really bringing me anything back in return or giving me anything. Yes, they are company, and I and I can look at them and pet them and stuff. But the thing is this space for me personally, it's work, it's maintenance, it's feed, it's spending time watering them, it's doing all these things. And really in return, I'm not really getting anything from that except for having more pets to take care of. So what I would like to do in this situation over here is I would love to rehome them to another farm that wants 2 mini pigs as pets. They are able to breed, so I mean that is a bonus too if somebody wants them. But I would like to turn this area into still a pig pen, but I want to do hogs so that my time and my effort being spent on pigs is giving me something in return, and that would be pork for the freezer. I do have quite a few friends that would be interested in buying half a pig or a quarter of a pig. So, I mean, the thought of having hogs in here and just providing one more thing for myself and for my kids that I can, and not from the grocery store, would be great. In one of my previous videos last year, I mentioned that I picked up pork for my cousin. So last year he did pork, I got half a pig off of him. This year he only did it for himself, so I wasn't able to get any. I still have a little bit of pork left, but that kind of got me thinking about how to utilize this and kind of get more out of the space for me and the kids. So I would really like to part with them, as sad as it would be, and I would like to replace them with hogs so that I can actually get something from them next season. But that's still up in the air because I don't really know exactly what is going to happen next season, which leads me to the biggest question that everybody has been asking me. And the question that everyone has been asking me for the last 6 months is, where is Jeff? And that is a question that I've been avoiding for quite a long time. The truth is, Jeff is not here anymore. So about 6 months ago, I decided that that situation was just not healthy for me and my kids. So we are not together anymore, and that is why he has not been in any of the videos that I've been posting recently. It is also part of the reason why I was so slow at posting videos. Managing all this on my own is quite a lot of work, with the gardens, with the animals, with the kids, with just the sheer amount of property that I have here, cutting the grass, you know, the pool, everything. It's just a lot for just me by myself with the kids. So it was taking up a lot more of my time than I had originally anticipated that it would, which has really put a damper on my ability to be able to film more regularly. Now that the kids are back in school and I'm only working sort of part-time right now, I do have more time to stay on top of my videos, and I do have more time to kind of manage the maintenance and everything that's required around here. But that is the answer to that question. Jeff is not here. So another question that is likely going to come from that is, what about the house? The house is mine. I purchased the house last year. One of the videos you'll see when we moved in here. So this home is mine. The home that we were in before was also mine. And my kids are not Jeff's biological children. So there is also that. Lots of surprises today. I have my kids from a previous relationship, and I met Jeff. He was around for about 5 years, and that just was not a healthy situation for me and my kids. So it was time to kind of part with that, and that has led me to be here now with the kids and this house and all this property on my own. So that is the answer to the question that everybody's been asking. I just processed the last round of chickens, and by I processed, I mean I actually took them in somewhere to get them done this year. That's the first time I've ever done that. And while I do like doing all my own stuff here, I did find it incredibly time-saving, and also just honestly less of a headache just to put the chickens in the crates and drop them off, and then come back 2 days later and pick them up, processed, plucked, broken down, bagged, and frozen. It was amazing, and honestly it was very reasonably priced. So I will forever be doing that moving forward. It just saves so much time, and just not having to spend a whole entire day dedicated to processing the chickens and cleaning up and setting up and all of that kind of stuff. I just found it to be super helpful. I also took the turkeys in there this year, and that was a dream come true because I processed turkeys alone last year, literally by myself last year. And I think I only did 8. Yeah, I think it was only 8 last year, and that took me forever just trying to do 8. Plucking turkeys and cleaning turkeys is not the same as chickens. It is way harder. They are way bigger. The feathers are thicker, and they do not fit in the automatic plucker that I had. So I had to pluck them all by hand, and it was just awful. It was just awful, awful, awful. I would never do it again. I took the turkeys to the same place that I took the chickens, dropped them off, and it was incredible. By the time you have unloaded the last turkey, the first ones that you put in have already been dispatched, plucked, and they're already going through the other side to be processed. So it was amazing. I think I dropped them off on a Friday. I came back on a Monday and I picked them up, clean, plucked, bagged, and frozen. 10 on 10, recommend. It was amazing. So I'll be doing that moving forward. This back here, Jeff made in one of the previous videos, I think maybe a year and a half ago or so. While it did serve its purpose, it is incredibly heavy because it's made of 2x4s and plywood and it's shingled. It is super heavy. I can move it, but it is not an easy thing for me to do. There's wire on the front that I use to lift it, and even just the weight on the wire on my hands is not good. So I think I'm going to get rid of this and then get like an aluminum sort of hoop house thing that's on wheels. Those are super light and they just have a tarp over top and some wire on the front, some chicken wire, I think. So I think I'm gonna do that next year just for the ease of movement, and I think just overall, it will just be better for me. This is just too much. So chickens are done, turkeys are done, and I'm probably gonna get rid of this thing. The garden here behind me is dead and done. As you can see, I need to get in here and take this down immediately. I really just haven't had the time to do so, or I guess I just haven't made the time to do so. That is the next thing that I will be doing. So probably the next video after this one is going to be taking the garden down, because we are, oh gosh, we're mid-October now, and this should be done. This should have been done long ago, and I need to get my garlic in the ground. That has to be in the next 2 weeks, and I'm just very behind on everything. So I really need to get it in gear. So the garden has to come down this week. I need to get my garlic in the next 2 weeks. And as you can see here, my sunflowers are done, and I need to take the heads off those. I was just looking at them, and sad news, I wanted to take the heads off and harvest some of the seeds that are in there, but I can see that the birds have been up there pecking them all out. So there's only a few big heads left that actually have sunflowers in them, which is tragic because I wanted to save them all. So unfortunately I won't be able to do that, but there are a couple big ones up there that do have tons of seeds on them, so I'll be able to take those down. I'll probably take them down right after I'm done filming this video, and I'll take them inside and dry them out, because I would really like to save the seeds and plant them again next year, just because of how big they grew and how well they did. So you can see in here, some of them are missing already from the birds, but you can see underneath here, there's still tons in there. Basically, you just run your fingers across the top and get all the little bits off on the front, and then you just kind of bend it and the seeds come right out. So what you do is you want to take this inside, you're going to take all the seeds out, and then you're going to let them dry. They need to dry completely, because if you put these away the way that they are, they're damp and they'll get super moldy and they will be no good for anything. So this is a good one. I'll take this inside. So you can see this one's been picked off a little bit too. It's just missing some up there, but same thing. So you just flick all this yellow stuff off and you can see all the seeds underneath. So this one's still good. I can take this one inside too. I saw these ones tipped over on the ground and I assumed all the seeds were missing, but they're actually all still in there. They must have just died and got too heavy and tipped over before the birds had a chance to get to them. So this is perfect. I can keep this whole thing. And this one too. So that's perfect. I got another two. This is actually not bad. This is way more than I thought I was gonna get. So this one's completely full. They all look pretty good. So I'll take these in and I will pull them all apart tonight, I think. And I'll dry them out and I'll save them. As you can see, the chickens have decided to let themselves in here and take care of the rest of the little bit of stuff that's left in the garden. Really all that's left in here is some hot peppers. And they're not really interested in those. There's like a couple couple little green tomatoes, but that's about it. Everything in here is completely done. So for those of you that know the channel and know me, you know that I do my own firewood every year because I burn wood in the winter as my heat. This house is 123 years old. It does have a furnace. The furnace is not hooked up. So last year I burned wood only for heat. There were some days where it was, 50 degrees in the house, very chilly on the days where it was like minus 30 outside. But we made it, we survived. The kids all have heated blankets for at nighttime. And honestly, it really wasn't that bad. As you can see behind me, this is all I have for firewood right now. So I have about 3 cords. I think last year I burned 8, I think. So obviously the math on that is not good. I am not ready for the winter as far as wood goes, but that's actually going to lead me to the next 2 things I'm going to say. One, I went to the dump today because I had to drop off some scrap metal and get rid of some things. And when I was at the dump, I actually met the guy who owns it or works there. I'm not really sure which one of the two, but he's always there when I go. And we got chatting, and he had said he had a bucket of square nails for me, which I thought was super cool because square nails, obviously, as you might know, are antiques. So they go with the time period of my house. Square nails are very old. So he graciously put those aside and gave them to me, which was super kind. So I went back and brought him some honey in exchange for those. And then he was asking me about syrup, so I brought some syrup. Long story short, it led us to start talking about my cabin and firewood. And we got talking about the firewood, and I said, yes, I'm not ready for winter. I don't have enough firewood. And he said, well, how convenient, because I guess around the corner for me, there is somebody who does firewood. And it's very convenient because it's literally right around the corner. And on top of that, he apparently has his own YouTube channel. So I have to go get in contact with this person and get some firewood. But then also, I got to figure out what his YouTube channel is called. And then maybe I can link that in here. That'd be cool. So that was very handy. Then the firewood talk actually leads me back to the cabin, because the guy at the dump was talking about the cabin and how he enjoys the videos from the cabin. And to answer that question as well, that cabin is also mine. That cabin is not Jeff's. So yes, you will still see tons of videos up there because that actually belongs to me. Now, touching back on the wood and the furnace, that's actually going to lead me into the next thing that I wanted to talk about and update you on. So if you watched the channel before, you'll know that I moved into this house last year in August. So it's been just over a year. This house is 123 years old, original windows, original doors, no insulation, the basement's underwater, power not in part of the house. Like it's quite an adventure living here, honestly. You can go back and check out the tour of my house video. It's somewhere in the videos from last year, and get an actual idea of what the inside of my house actually looks like. I don't even have a kitchen in there right now, so it's interesting. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is the furnace is not hooked up, and the house needs to be completely renovated. So what's happening right now is I'm lining up everything and all the trades and stuff that need to come in here to renovate the house. And that is what's going to be taking place hopefully over the next few months. I'm hoping to get things started within the next 4 weeks, get everything done over the winter, and then potentially list the house in the spring. This house is just way too big and there's too much property for just me to manage on my own. It's not to say that I won't be going to something pretty much exactly like this, but smaller, which is probably what's going to happen. But this property and this house, at the age that this house is, it's just way too much work for me. So I, of course, will be documenting the entire demo and renovation of the house. And by demo, I mean, no, I am not getting rid of all the original character. Absolutely not. That is not what's happening. The floors, all the trim, the baseboard, the doors, all of the things that would give character to this home, all the things that make this home what it is, that's all staying. You know, things like the bathroom, that has to get done. I don't have a kitchen. The addition that's on the back of the house needs to come off because it's not insulated, so the whole back of the house freezes. There's just many, many things that need to get done that I just can't do on my own. So my brother and his team of people that he knows in the trades, they're going to come in and do it. I will definitely be helping with the demo because that sounds like fun. And I will definitely keep you updated on the progress, when it starts, all the way to completion. So There are a lot of changes coming, and I'm hoping that next year is just a better year than this year. As you can see behind me, this is Annie's pasture, and it is super overgrown. The reason it is overgrown is because she's not in there eating the grass. And the reason she's not in there eating the grass is because I had to sell her, which was a very tough decision. I did not want to sell her, but it's just too much here alone. It's just way too much. I was having a hard time keeping her in her fence. She'd figured out a way to get out, and once cows figure a way to get out of their fence, it's almost impossible to keep them in. So I would have had to take this whole thing down and put up cedar rails with barbed wire and like proper fencing. This hot wire worked for her when she was smaller, but by the time she went to auction, she was almost full size, and it just was not working at all. There were times where I'd be coming out to work in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she'd be standing in the driveway in front of my truck, and then trying to wrangle her back into this pen in the dark by myself was just not working. She'd taken herself down the street to the boat launch, gone for a bath in the boat launch. She had taken herself into the feed shed where I store all my feed, knocked over all the bales of straw, made herself a bed and laid down. It was just not working, and it was just easier for me at this point to auction her off and know that she was going to a place that was just better equipped for her. It was a very difficult decision because, as you know, if you watch that video, I've always wanted a cow. I was so excited to actually have her and just have a whole other food source here that we can provide for ourselves. I was really looking forward to that. It just, unfortunately, the timing is just not meant for me right now. It's not to say that I won't have that at some point. It's just doesn't look like it's in the cards for me right now at this moment, which is sad, but it was the right decision for me. So off she went. Thankfully, one of my friends has a cattle farm, so she was able to come trailer her away and drop her off at the auction. She's very well versed in all that stuff, so she hooked me up, which was great. So I know that Annie went to the appropriate place and will be treated just the way she deserves to be treated, and she's probably happier somewhere else rather than here. Actually, I don't know. She probably was happy here because she'd go in and out of the fence wherever she wanted and wander around everywhere. So she probably was happier here, but either way, she is gone to a better place now, and this now just is kind of sitting here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe leave it for the next people who come here. Maybe they want to use it for something. I'm not too sure. But for now, it's just going to sit there as a little memory of Annie. So those are the major updates going on here. I've updated you on the goats, the chickens, the pigs, the turkeys, the garden, and the cow, which we no longer have. I do still have the bees. I forgot to touch on them. I do have them. They're all doing great. So I'll be closing those down shortly for the winter, and hopefully they make it through. They were super strong. I got tons of honey off them this year. I think I ended up with over 70 pounds. So if you didn't get any honey, please be sure to check out the website. There's still some on there. There's also some maple syrup left on there, I think. And of course, tons of soap. It is October, so all the fall scents are on there. I think there is pumpkin pie, vanilla, and cinnamon bun, I think. I'd have to double check, but check out the website, www.living-different.com. Tons of stuff on there. And that pretty much wraps up this video. This video was more just to update you and answer the questions that I have been getting on Instagram and in the comments. I really couldn't avoid the question anymore of where Jeff was, so now we know things are changing around here, but honestly, they're changing for the better. I'm really looking forward to what the rest of this year is going to bring, and really what next year is going to bring. I am super interested, as I always say, to look forward to seeing where I'll be in a year from now, and just the significant amount of changes going on in my life right now and with my kids. I really am interested to see where we'll be next year at this time. Maybe we renovate the house and we love it and we stay. I don't think so. It'll be interesting to see where we end up next year and where I'll be planting garlic at this time of the year next year. So thanks for watching. Hopefully the update was informative. If there are any more questions, please leave them in the comments. You can also message me on Instagram. I do check that fairly regularly, and that is @_livingdifferent. I post on there every single day, so you can stay up to date in what I'm doing on a regular basis and just kind of get more of a day-to-day real life sort of interaction with what goes on around here. All of the renovations, once they begin, hopefully soon, everything will be posted on Instagram. I will be doing obviously videos on here, but Instagram is more of a day-to-day thing, like I said. Otherwise, that pretty much wraps this up. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.